This is the purpose of your existence, to remember and to leave everything else so that the purpose of your existence can lead the way. Lead the way, and everything else will drop away, forever to sing in praise of all creation. Why you stare at the mountain? What does real love do? It stills the longing, for real love is crowned, and then all become its willing slave. Love creates a home wherever it is. Love is really never in want. True love is always in a state of found. Homeless one is whenever the heart is not alive, realizing that I sing the way I do. A bird's melody can grant a pardon to vision that is obstructed. I know why you stare at the mountain's beauty, for she reminds you of something vital in yourself. And natural desires to explore her heights are just there to help you reach your own summit. I offer this poem, its weave. It is a basket where something has been placed for you. Read this again slowly. It may become more revealed. Every moment of every day, there is a deep connection that is deep within you and waiting to be acknowledged, to be recognized. Love creates a home wherever it is. And this is your holy purpose, to open to that love that you are, not being afraid of it, not needing to defend it in any way, but to open your awareness to the love that you are and to create a home in that moment. What is it to create a home wherever you are? It's to be present. What is it to be present? Those are just words. But to be present is to be able to offer love in the moment. Present says, I have no other purpose but this moment. And this moment is only love. The addiction to thinking about 2 minutes from now, 5 minutes from now, half an hour from now, that addiction is being called to be surrendered. I call it an addiction because it's like a rubber band that keeps pulling you to not be present in this moment. The fear of being present is the fear of not having the past to rely on. To rely on the past is to try to rely on your identity, because that's where all your identity comes from. And when you take that little leap, that little movement of being here, you come into contact with your divine self, even if it's just a second. The holy instant is the moment of staying here and offering love and creating a home of love just in this moment. It's not meant to prove anything. It's not meant to accomplish anything. It's not meant to protect anything, defend anything, do anything. It's not a doing, it's a being. And love is calling you to create in this moment. Love creates a home wherever it is. But it's being present. Love is really never in want. There is never anything needed in this present moment. Everything is complete. Everything that is real is complete. Now the mind will want to leave out of fear, the mind of the ego, and make up something that it can hang on to, of knowing, so that the fear of annihilation is pacified. The fear of annihilation is a ruse. There is no annihilation in opening to love. What can be promised is that in the moment of love, of truth, there is a complete forgetting of the identity, because it's illusion. And when you step into this moment, make a home here in love for this moment, there's no thought of the identity. You're enveloped in reality. And everything is in reality. And as you step into this moment and allow, the past is gone, the future is left alone, given to God, your courage to live in the present moment is opened. Don't be afraid of letting love create a home wherever it is. You have this power within you. It is who you are. to create. Every addict, in becoming sober, in letting go of the addiction, realizes all the lies that the addiction brought fear with. The addiction of whatever is used for the addiction in healing, the recognition is made that the addiction was a ruse, that it lied, that it offered nothing, and just barred the door to love. The addiction to the mind, to thought, is part of that addiction. And once you let love create its home in this moment, the addiction starts to unravel. And the past is no longer as attached as an identity. And you can make the leap to actually trust the future into the hands of God. There is such a great peace in the surrender of the future into the hands of God. And it's a necessary element of love. Give the future to God. It also, when you give the future to God, the past is no longer as relevant, because the mind wants to go back and forth between future and past and skip over the present. But you have created a home out of love in this present moment. You have that power. You are that power. That is your natural state. Homeless one is whenever the heart is not alive. And this is the journey too, is to let the heart have its life back. To no longer be willing to defend the heart as if it needs defense. The only attack of the heart has been from the mind. And as you surrender your mind into the hands of God, there is nothing to protect the heart from. The self-attack, the self-loathing is so easily surrendered. All the self-judgment, and then all of the judgment that is projected out through opinions, just affirms that there is danger in the world. But it's all coming from the mind of the belief that you are separate from God. And this is the lie. You cannot be separate from God. It's not possible to leave your source. So all the games that the mind has played to convince that defense is helpful and that to live in the past is essential, it's a call to choosing love. Can healing be so simple that you can just choose love from moment to moment? Yes. Yes. It's not meant to be difficult. It's not meant to be a challenge. It's meant for you to pull the curtain back and see that all of this mind stuff is just being run by the man behind the curtain that has no power and that's been playing a game. All the stories, all of the seeming problems, all can be surrendered to realize there are no problems. The problem is always, I believe I'm separate from God. And in truth, there is no problem because you are not separate from God. How easy is it to come home? Extremely easy, except for the stubbornness of the fear that keeps saying no. But it's just smoke and mirrors. There is nothing to fear. I know why you stare at the mountain's beauty, for she reminds you of something vital in yourself, and natural desires to explore her heights are just there to help you reach your own summit. Your own summit. Your own yes. Your own refusal to buy the lies of the mind that have become expert at scaring and disasterizing, none of it being real. There is a teaching that takes all the belief of separation and puts it into the light. Do you believe in what you know? Asking that question of yourself. Do you believe it? Do you believe your past? Do you believe your identity? Do you believe the thoughts that run and scare you? Do you believe in what you know? If everything you think you've made of your talents and ambitions and even the personality self were made in arrogance, do you believe you can decide what is truly helpful? How do you know what's truly helpful if your ego mind is devoted to arrogance? It doesn't feel like arrogance when it's running. And yet it is, because the I know wants to override the truth of love, wants to push love out of the way and say, I'm right. When true humbleness dawns, you can no longer tolerate doing or speaking anything unless it is obviously coming from the alignment with the spirit of love. There is a great gift in healing when it becomes painful to go with what you know. It's a gift, not because love wants you to be in pain, but because the squeeze sometimes is helpful to recognize what you're choosing. Don't be afraid of the squeeze. Welcome the squeeze, not as a wanting of pain, because it's never that painful. It's just a squeeze. And when the squeeze occurs, it's a calling to you to, oh, I just got lost in my ideas of what I thought I knew. And love is calling me back. Love is calling me back to create a home in this moment. The humbleness dawns, and you can no longer tolerate. It is only the Spirit's use of words and deeds which are truly helpful. Can you surrender to the guidance of the Divine Spirit? Can you ask for help? Show me the way. So that I don't have to keep relying on the past. And I can begin to forgive the past and let it go. I can let it go. It can disappear. And only the love from the past will remain. All the love of every beloved, of every moment that you have ever walked through will become clear and beautiful and love itself. And all of the story that went with it will disappear. You will return to the love of every beloved that walked with you in this incarnation. You will see them as the light of God that they truly are. Their facades will drop away from your sight. You will see them with your heart. You will see them with the compassion of love, that whether they've remembered or they haven't remembered, you are holding them in the truth of their divinity. And you are no longer afraid for them. You are no longer worried about them. You are no longer upset with them. You are no longer hating them. All of it can be washed away. All the resentments, all the fears of the past, all the beliefs of being unfairly treated disappear. And freedom begins to find its home in your heart. In order to use our words, the Holy Spirit must be given everything of ourselves. Now that sounds daunting. Give everything. But once you start to turn everything over, every situation, every day, it becomes the place of ease, grace, and peace. Why does it become so easy? It becomes easy because you are no longer burdened with having to figure out how to walk through this world. You're held. You're led. You're comforted. You're blessed. Because it's your natural state with creation. Your true helpfulness is now under the control of the Divine Spirit. And everything that you do or say becomes in the glory of God. Because you want to only express love. And you want to create a home of love in every moment. Offering love. And it becomes the everyday joy. Recognized moment to moment with nothing to prove. Accept the will of God in true humility, and all you think you made will disappear. And love will take the place of self-deception as we lay aside the arrogance which proclaims that we are damaged, guilty, afraid, and that we left our true source. And now we lift our hearts in true humility, in surrender to our immaculate true selves. This is not a struggle. The more that you find the yes in your heart, the more love can intervene and help you. It can help you, it can lead you, it can show you everything that is most helpful. And it will open your heart and open your awareness that you are the immortal, infinite, eternal light of God. Why do you stare at the mountain? Because there's a resonance of wanting to really find your true self, which feels like going to the summit, out of the mud and reaching to the sun. You have done nothing to change the truth of who you are. But every beloved has built an identity that has been used for defense, that's being called to be really surrendered. I don't know how to look on anything. I'm here to learn. Show me the way. I don't have to worry about being judged. I don't have to worry about being condemned. I don't have to worry about being rejected. Those are all the fears that the world has held. Every beloved has been afraid of opening the heart because every beloved made a story, an identity out of being rejected, out of the fear of exposure. One of the gifts that Jesus, when he was on earth in the third dimension, demonstrated was to be the fool for love, not holding back any love. It's a brilliance of joy to be the fool for love, not to resist and not to hold back. And the secret really is that when your heart is full of love, because you're open, you're available, you can't think. It's a beautiful, beautiful antidote to the addiction to thinking. So all you have to do is let your heart expand. Don't hold back. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. In my defenselessness, my heart is finally full. The only defense that was ever used but not recognized, that all of the pain and the suffering was coming from the mind. It wasn't coming from out there. It was coming from the belief of separation. It was projected out there, but you have the power of surrender and of letting go of what you thought you knew. And then you will no longer be in pain. You will no longer have to defend anything, because the mind will be emptied of its painful beliefs. That is what the surrender is all about. You have exerted great effort to preserve what you made in illusion. It takes great effort to keep what you know, because God is calling to you, the Spirit is calling to you to surrender it all. Surrender your fears. Surrender your sorrow. And surrender what you think you are. There's two sides of the coin for what you think you are. There is a side of the coin that says, I'm a piece of dirt. I'm worthless. I'm not capable. I'm without. And the other side of the coin that says, I'm going to prove my worth. I'm going to show how talented I am, or whatever. And neither is true. Neither has any legitimacy at all. You have nothing to prove. How can you improve on the brilliance of God that you are? How can you improve on the exquisite compassion that is your light? How can you improve on the divine intelligence of the universe? That is you. Not the you of identity, but the you beyond this temporary identity. The I am that. Everything of love is you. But the acceptance of it is what is holding the door somewhat closed. If you can accept that you are the light of God and surrender everything else, take everything that I've made, everything that I made up, and let it be healed. Take it all, God. Take it all. And only the love will remain. I don't need to know what it is that I believed. I don't need to know. Show me whatever is most helpful, but take it all. And only love will be left. You don't have to worry about being able to function in the world. You don't have to worry about what it's all going to be like. It's all love. You can't be without. It isn't God's will for you to be without. You have everything. You are everything. It isn't God's will for you to suffer. It isn't God's will for you to be in pain of any kind. It's a time of letting go. Homeless one is whenever the heart is not alive. That's why everyone feels homeless and fearful. Let your heart live its true nature. Let it radiate. Let it bless. Let it comfort. Let it draw beloveds to itself in joining. It's not about drawing others to you so that you can prove that you have worth. It's just because you have to love. Because you are love. And it's your nature. It's your natural state. All the judgment thoughts, whether they're projected out or they're self-attacked, it's all the same. All the ideas of having to prove worth, all the ideas of the past of what you thought you knew about anybody or anything, it's nothing. Absolutely just open to love, and you will open to the knowledge of the universe. And you will truly know each beloved in the truth of love. There won't be any secrets anymore of a made-up story of anybody. You will remember and recognize the love that each beloved is, because you will have accepted it within. And that love has to be shared. That love has to be extended. It can't be held in secret. It has to be shared. You won't want to keep it to yourself. It's too magnificent. And prime the pump now. I must love. I must love with all of my heart. I must love. Moment by moment. And embracing forgiveness is part of that love. It's the love that says, I was just mistaken. Nothing happened. And the dream, the nightmare can end. And the reality of love can be recognized, accepted, embraced. Only love.